Okay, I think we are live. Happy Halloween! Or, well, not sure if you heard me or not, but I think we're live. Happy Halloween! Ugh. I know, my Halloween episode's a day late, but I had too much going on yesterday, so screw it. One day late's not so bad. The show must go on, right? In this week's episode, I'm doing the 50th anniversary Hextravaganza for Rocky Horror Picture Show. But before we get to that, I'm going to talk about the weekend box office, and we got some birthdays I want to talk about. So let's start the show, shall we? Live from Niagara Falls, it's Mr. Flickster Show on Saturday night. Thank you for clicking on my video. Hello, world. I'm Chris Mytony, aka Mr. Flickster. Mr. Flickster. Oh, here I am. All right. So sorry it was a tad late, about 5 minutes or so. I had some technical issues. Actually, it was more like some wardrobe issues. But hey, I got the costume on. We got it going. So there was quite a few birthdays that happened in the month of October. So I'm just going to touch on a few. Let's make sure I'm sharing the screen. But yeah, this week's all about Rocky Horror Picture Show. What's your favorite song from Rocky Horror? Leave comments below and we could talk about it. Oh, mask hair. Sorry. All right, here we go. Put me in the corner. All right. The first birthday is Ryan Reynolds. Obviously, more well for being Deadpool nowadays, but he does other stuff too. Here he is, my fellow Canadian. He was born October 23rd in 1976 in Vancouver, Canada. So let's just take a look at his career, shall we? He's a writer too. We'll stick with acting, keep it simple. Last year was Deadpool and Wolverine, but it seems like that came out longer than that. Maybe that's just me. It seems like that came out like in 2002 or 2003. And then If was pretty good. That's an underrated film. It got lukewarm reception when it came out, but I liked it. I saw it opening weekend. Oopsie, didn't mean to click that. All right, what else we got here? Go away, not sponsored. Some of these I haven't heard of before. Oh yeah, I forgot he was in Bullet Train in 2002. That was a fun one. It's got Brad Pitt. The Adam Project wasn't very good. That was a Netflix movie in 2022. And then Red Notice was okay. 2021. That was a Netflix movie too. Free Guy was hilarious. I saw that in theaters. That was 2021. It's like Grand Theft Auto, the movie. Excuse me. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it wasn't bad either. 2021. Oh yeah, he was Guy in The Croods. I forgot about that. He's really good in that. 2020. What else we got? Six Underground was very good. Netflix movie. 2019. Usually when there's a Netflix movie with Ryan Reynolds, they'll put it on. Hobbs and Shaw. I didn't know he was in that, but that's a good movie. 2019. I didn't know he was in the Taylor Swift music video either. But he's both. I guess his wife is friends with her, so they know each other pretty well. His wife just had a movie come out too. Trying to think of her name. Oh, I know it. I can't think of it right now. I'm drawing a blank. Blake Lively, yes. Yeah, she just had a movie. It was Another Simple Favor. I almost said Blythe Tanner, but that's a completely different person. And he was in Detective Pikachu in 2019. That was a good movie. I didn't really like Once Upon a Deadpool. That's basically Deadpool 2, but like the PG-13 version of it. And they kind of threw in Princess Bride randomly. It was different. Let's see. What else we got here? There's Deadpool 2 from 2018. Let's see. What else we got? He's been in a bunch of Family Guy episodes. I know that. There's Hitman's Bodyguard 2017. That was a good movie. I really enjoyed that. Life was pretty good too. They go sci-fi horror movie 2017. A lot of Deadpool stuff. I assume those are like short films or like little ads he did. Yeah, that one says infomercial. I thought that was all part of the promotion for the first movie. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I forgot he was in Million Ways to Die in the West. I guess he's friends with Seth MacFarlane, so he just pops up randomly in his stuff. Wasn't really a fan of R.I.P.D. It's kind of like Men in Black, but it's about dead people instead of aliens, like ghosts and spirits and stuff. 2013. The Croods. 2013. The first Croods came out in 2013. Holy crap. I didn't realize that came out that long ago. Ted is pretty funny. He's got a cameo in that. 2012. Safe House was good. 2012. Change Up was not very good. Green Lantern also not great. Let's see. Buried was a good movie. 2010. That movie's creepy. It's all about being buried alive. Talk about scary. Holy crap. That's like one of my legit fears. 2010. The Proposal. That movie's hilarious. 2009. That's with Sandra Bullock. And of course, the infamous X-Men Origins Wolverine. There it is. First time he played Deadpool was 2009, but they butchered it. But that's a video for another day. He was in Smoking Aces, 2006. That's a good one. Just Friends is hilarious. 2005. It's like a rom-com. Waiting. There it is. That's one of my favorites with him. 2005. I love Waiting. It's so funny. Probably one of the most quotable. He's in that awful Amityville horror remake in 2005. Oh, I didn't know he was in Harold and Kumar, Male Nurse. Okay, that's probably a cameo. 2004. That's funny though. It doesn't appear in anything. Scrubs. I do remember that. I like that show. Then there was Blade Trinity. Oh, where is it? Did I skip it? Yeah, I missed it. 2004. And if it wasn't for Blade Trinity, we wouldn't have Blade and Deadpool and Wolverine. Because that's how we met Wesley Snipes. That was 2004. I think that's how he got his job as Deadpool, too. His role in that one. One thing led to another one. Van Wilder. That was my introduction to Ryan Reynolds in 2002. raunchy comedy. It's hilarious. And then there's this one. I used to watch this show too. Two guys, a girl, and a pizza place. Whoa, that was on for like 3 years, 4 years, 81 episodes, 1998 to 2001. Yeah, 3 years. I didn't realize that was on for that long. Good show. What else we got? He was in Outer Limits for an episode. Oh, 3 episodes actually. That's cool. He was in an episode. Oh, he was in the TV movie for Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I forgot about that. 1996. That was basically like the pilot, but they stretched it out to an hour and a half and played it on TV. He was in the X-Files. That's cool. What else we got here? Looks like his first job was a TV show called 15 in 1991. And his first movie was called Ordinary Magic in 1993. Cool. So let's take one last look at him. There he is. Happy birthday, Ryan Reynolds. Belated birthday, but still. Hopefully you keep us laugh for many more years to come. That's right. He agrees.
Please on your mask.
All right, the next birthday is Daniel Kuntz. Hopefully I didn't picture that. Here's his picture. Probably most well known for Halloween Town 2, playing Calibur's son. He was born October 16th, 1978, in Portland, Oregon. He just turned 47. Also, congratulations to Daniel on his wedding to Kimberly J. Brown in 2004. She played Marnie in the first 3 Halloween Town installments. Just wanted to give a shout out to their wedding because we just found that out at Fred Mirror in the Falls. We saw them talk at the convention. They had a Q&A panel. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to talk to the cast myself, but my girlfriend did, so that's pretty cool. She found out why Marnie wasn't in part 4. Disney never called her. She was ready, willing, and able, but Disney never called.
That's supposed to be next week.
But we'll talk about more about that next weekend. I'm going to talk about Fred Mirror in the Falls. She'll tell the story.
No, I won't. You just did.
Let's see what else he has been in. He's got 29 acting credits. That's awesome. So his most recent job was a TV movie called Haul Out for Halloween in 2025, this year. That's cool. He's also in the God of War Ragnarok game. I didn't know that. 2022. That's cool. Looks like mostly short films. Oh, a TV show called Youthful Days. That's cool. My Crazy Roommate is on for 6 episodes. LA Noire was actually a really good game. 2011. That's cool. And he was in Mad Men for an episode in 2009. And his first job was the Ghost Whisperer. He also played a character named Cal. That's funny. In 2008. So happy birthday, Daniel Kurtz. Here's this picture one more time. And the final birthday I want to talk about It's Richard Dreyfuss. He was supposed to go to Frightmare this year, but he was a no-show. Second year in a row.
He missed this light.
Here's the picture. He was born October 29th, 1947, in Brooklyn, New York. He turned 78. Make sure we're still going. All right, cool. Back to IMDb. All right. Obviously, he's probably most well known for like Close Encounters of the Third Kind or Jaws. But let's see what else he was in. Yeah, and there's also What About Bob? He's got 128 acting credits. Wow. His most recent movie is Into the Deep. Came out this year. That's cool. I'm not familiar with that one. He also had one last year, Waltzing with Brando. That's cool. And then the year before that, 2023, there was Sweetwater. And the year before that, there was Save Christmas. He's been busy. 2021, he's got a few. Every last one of them in Crime Story. Wow. He's been busy. Every few years, he puts something else out. That's cool. He was in Book Club in 2018. That's right. I forgot he was in Weeds for 4 episodes in 2010. He's in Red. That's a good one. I love that one. 2010. That's awesome. He's in Piranha 3D in 2010. He appeared on The Family Guy a couple times. Let's see. What else? He was in W in 2008. Controversial at the time, if my memory serves correctly. Poseidon, that was a good movie. 2006. That was a remake of the Poseidon Adventure. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Island of Misfit Toys from 2001. What? I don't even know what that is. You play Scoop the Snowman, really? Okay. Cool. Krippendorf Tribe is a funny one from the 90s. He works with like National Geographic or something like that. He just makes up a fake village and a fake tribe, and everyone eats it up in the media. Oliver Twist is a classic, 97. Mad Dog Time, 96. James and the Giant Peach, he was the centipede, that's right, 1996. Mr. Holland's Opus was really good, 1995. I forgot he was in American President, 1995. Oh, he was a senator, okay. Lost in Yonkers was 1993. He's just such a versatile actor. What About Bob was 1991. Hilarious. I feel like I'm aging myself, though. That's right. He was in Stand By Me. He was like the narrator, the writer in 86. Let's see. What else is there? He was in Othello, 79. This is video, so I'm not sure what that is. It might have been a videotaping of a stage play, I presume. He was in The Goodbye Girl, 1977. He was Close Encounters of the Third Kind in 97. The Sentinel, 1977. There's the big one, Jaws, 1975. They did a video this year all about Jaws in the summer. So if you're interested and you want to know more about Jaws, you can watch it. Let's see. What else? American Graffiti, 1973. That's a classic movie about cars. It was about like 50s, actually. It's like a day in the life story. He was in the Mod Squad TV show for 2 episodes. 2 for the Money in 1972. Let's see, what else? Now we're in the 60s. He was in The Graduate? I didn't know that. Oh, that's why uncredited. Boarding house resident. Oh, okay, cool. That was 1967. He was in Valley of the Dolls, 1967. He was in an episode of Bewitched. Huh, that's cool. I didn't know that. 1 episode, 1966. And his first job was a TV show called Karen, it looks like. 1964. But his first movie, he was on Bewitched before he was doing movies. These are all TV shows. Oh, Valley of the Dolls was his first movie. Okay. He was the assistant stage manager. It just says uncredited, so that should have been a hint right there. Here's the picture again. Happy birthday, Richard Dreyfuss. That wraps it up for the birthdays tonight. So where am I? Here I am. Rocking like the stage. Remove this one. All right, cool. Here I am. All right, so before we get to the main event, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, let's just talk about the weekend box office. And a segment I like to call the Weekend Box Office Update. Oh, I almost got to share the screen. Yes, if I don't talk myself through it, I will forget. Full screen layout. Oh no, don't do that. I was off in the corner. Okay. Here's the box office. So last week was the 24th to the 26th. A big movie came out yesterday that I'm very curious about to see how it does next week. It's called Begonia, but we'll see. Time will tell. It's in theaters now. It's got Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, I think is the other guy's name. She thinks that she's an alien. It looks pretty good. But anyways, number 1 last week was Chainsaw Man, the movie. Reze Arc, I think that's how you say that. It made $18 million. Wow, awesome. I love seeing animated movies do well in the box office. Number 2 is Regretting You. I'm not sure what that's about, but it made $13.6 million. Can you look that up? Regretting You. Regretting You. And it was in 3,000 theaters, so Paramount Pictures International. Oh, it must be a foreign film of some kind. I'm not sure. But it seems like it's doing very well for its first week. And it's at number 2 already. Beating out Black Phone 2. But that had a huge drop. Wow. What's it about? Okay, so according to Google, it says when a devastating accident reveals a shocking betrayal, Morgan Grant and her daughter, Clara, explore what's left behind as they confront family secrets, redefine love, and discover each other. Oh, okay, cool.
Mhm.
So number 3 was Black Phone 2, dropping 2 spots from last week. It made $12.9 million, but it dropped 52.8%. Holy crap. That's a huge drop. But it's still got $48.9 million. It's still doing pretty well, especially since horror movies are cheaper to make. And it's been out for 2 weeks, so still looking forward to seeing that one. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. Number 4 is Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. That made $8.8 million. That's the first week out. Number 5 is Tron Ares, hanging in there. It dropped 3 spots from last week, though. It made $4.9 million, dropping 55.8%. Whoa, massive drop again. And it's making 63.3. That seems sort of low for that sort of movie. I feel like that should be a little higher. I don't think this one's going to make its money back. I don't even think it's made its budget yet. But we'll see. It's been out for 3 weeks. Number 6 is the comedy Good Fortune, dropping 3 spots. It's made $3.1 million. And even that one dropped 49.6%. Holy crap. That's 3 of them in a row that have massive hits. Or massive lows, I should say. Yeah, we'll go with that. It made $11.8 million. And it was number 2 last week. I'm sorry, it's been out for 2 weeks. At number 7 is the debut of Shelby Oaks. It made $2.3 million. It's the first week. It got picked up by Neon Pictures, but this one's interesting because this one was made by the YouTuber Chris Stuckman. So it's kind of cool to see somebody like that go from reviewing movies to making his own movies. So I'm curious what this is going to be like. At number 8 is One Battle After Another. It made $2.2 million. And it's been out for 5 weeks. It's made 65.7. I feel like this one should have been making more too, considering I don't think it's made its budget back yet. And number 9 is The Roof Man. I think that one's got Channing Tatum, I believe. It came out in 2002. So, sorry. It made $2 million. That's what my brain was supposed to tell my mouth to say. It's made $19.4 million. It's been out for 3 weeks. Number 10 is Truth or Treason. Sorry, Truth and Treason. It was 6 last week. It made $910,000. It dropped 65.3%. Whoa. But it's made $4.7 million. It's just been out for about 2 weeks. Oh, it's an Angel Studios picture. It's a religious movie. So it's doing pretty well for being an independent, low-budget released in religious movie. Then some honorable mentions. I got a shout out to Gabby's Dollhouse for being number 11. It's still holding on strong. 750,000 for 5 weeks. Wow. And it's made $31 million. Holy crap. Good for them. Then The Conjuring 4, or Last Rites, let's face it, it's Conjuring 4. It made another $722,000. But even that one had another big drop, 54.9. So let's just say 55%. It lost over 1,000 theaters too. Wow. But it's doing really well. It made $176.7 million. I saw this one recently. I didn't like it. But I might do a Conjuring episode in the future sometime. If there's a lot of Conjuring movies, I could talk about that. I'm not a huge fan of the franchise, but it's popular. It's making money. It's one of the few horror franchises that has made over $1 billion collectively. So that says something. People like these movies. I like some of them. Oh, here we go. Bergonia was number 13. I guess I had an early release, like a limited release. And it made $709,000 so far. So that's pretty good. Oh, that's a surprise. At 14, we got Demon Slayer again, holding on strong. 641,000 this week. 132.3 million so far. So good for Sony. And then we got Blue Moon rounding out the 15. 554,000 this week. Whoa, it's got a boost of 745%. What is that? Oh, because it went from 5 theaters to 698 theaters. Huh. Well, good for them. That's awesome. All right, so that's the domestic box office for this week. Now let's talk about the international, actually worldwide. Here we go. So number 1 is still Neja 2 at almost $2 billion. And then not even close at number 2 is Lilo with Stitch, which made just over $1 billion. Then we have a Minecraft movie. Sadly, didn't get quite $1 billion. I was hoping so, but it's sad because that was a good movie. More people should have saw it in theaters. It's because too many people were ruining the experience for other people, shouting at the screen and throwing food, stuff like that. Like, the internet kind of ruined that movie. But anyways, number 4, skipping. Number 4 is Jurassic World Rebirth. Kind of happy that one's doing well, but at the same time, I kind of wish it was a better movie because now the studio is going to get the wrong idea. Oh, we're going to want more. People want more of this. Well, no, they just saw it because you like dinosaurs. But if you want to see my review for Jurassic World Rebirth, I got a whole Jurassic Park episode on my channel. Feel free to check it out. It's made $868.4 million so far, so it's doing well. Like, good for them. Number 5 is Demon Slayer, 674.2, I'll say, million. Big number. Number 6 is How to Train Your Dragon. I'm really surprised how well this one did. And again, studios are going to get the raw message. So we're going to get more live-action remakes of DreamWorks animated films. Oh boy. 636 million. Number 7 is F1, the movie. I still got to check this one out. This one looks pretty good. Formula One racing with Brad Pitt. Yes, please. $629.5 million. Number 8, Superman. I'm really surprised Superman was not a $1 billion movie. But I wasn't able to catch it in theaters either, so I guess I can't really talk. 615. I just feel like that. Like, this came out 10 years ago. That would have made twice as much money, I feel. But anyways, at number 9, I'm surprised this one wasn't higher either. Mission Impossible. But I have yet to see it, so I can't judge the quality of this film. Made $598.7 million. I think it's on Paramount Plus now, so I'll check that out soon. At number 10, we got Fantastic Four, First Steps. $521.8 million. Kind of thought that would do better too, considering the budget. And this year was supposed to be the comeback for the MCU, they were saying. So much for that, I guess. And then rounding out the bottom 15, the honorable mentions. There's The Conjuring Last Rites is already on this list. That's really impressive, actually. $489.8 million. Holy crap. So yeah, people are going out to see it. I didn't really like it, though. It's kind of generic. It relies too much on jump scares. It's really slow, too. Like, the first half of the movie is all about the Warrens. They don't even get to the case until, like, halfway through the movie. So really, why is this movie almost 2.5 hours long? It's so long. Oh, my God. I don't mind movies being long. Just justify the length. Like Sinners. There's a reason why that movie is like 2.5 hours, because that kind of has to be. There's no reason for this to be 2.5 hours. But anyways, that's my short Conjuring rant. I think Conjuring 2 is the best one, actually. That's going to be a hard act to follow. Just talking the pure Conjuring movies, not the spin-offs. But anyways, number 12, Captain America, Brave New World. 415 million so far. And then Thunderbolts is still right behind it. These two have always been together throughout the year so far. $382.4 million. Then Sinners, speaking of, is number 14. Good for them, 366. I really recommend Sinners. I really do think that's one of the best horror movies of the year. Same with the one right below it, Final Destination Bloodlines, $315 million. And then Weapons, hey, I like that one too. So yeah, that's the worldwide box office. We'll see how these other movies that just came out do. Kind of curious how much more The Conjuring makes. Where am I? Here I am. Let's remove this. Okay. Let's get to the main event, shall we? Oh, that light should not be there. Okay, cool. Rocky Horror Picture Show. So how old were you when the first time you saw Rocky Horror Picture Show? Were you way younger than you were supposed to be, like me? So let's go to IMDb, pull up the poster. I just want to go in the corner. Here we go. Cool. I love this poster. Never wanted to do a Rocky Horror Show for a while, like an episode about it. This year just so happens to be the 50th anniversary, so it's the perfect time. What is going on here? Collapse. Okay, cool. And here is the poster. Fabulous. Okay, so here is the synopsis according to IMDb. A rain-soaked couple take refuge in the castle of a transvestite mad scientist from outer space who is about to unveil his greatest creation. So, where am I? Here we go. So, will this film thrill you, chill you, and fulfill you? Back to IMDb. The Rocky Horror Picture Show came out in 1975. It was directed by Jim Sharman. It was written by Richard O'Brien and Jim Sharman. It stars Tim Curry, Susan Sarandon, and Bill Bostwick, and many more. It was made on a budget of $1.2 million, and its worldwide gross is $116.2 million. Now, this was not popular when it came out. It didn't make that much money. But of course, that's what makes it a cult classic. It didn't find its following until later on. It began as a London stage musical in 1973, and O'Brien wrote the songs in between jobs when he was just looking for work or when he just couldn't find a job. So that's kind of funny if you think about it. He was just kind of passing his time. It started off as kind of like a hobby. And then look what it turned into. I mentioned Jim Sharman. He also directed the original stage production too. That's why he was picked for the movie. And it was filmed in Bray, near Windsor, England. But the castle set was so cold that when the cast was wet during some of the filming, because of all the leakiness and the fact that they lacked heat, that a lot of them were constantly wet. And Susan Sarandon actually caught pneumonia after filming the pool scene, but she kept on working. She didn't want to stop. That shows her professionalism. She told us already a lot of interviews. Same with Barry Bostwick. He always talks about how he was always wet due to the leakiness in the castle. I love the makeup designs by Pierre Laroche. Sorry if I butchered that. But he was David Bowie's former stylist. And then I got to give credit to the costume designs too, by Sue Blaine. Whoa. You can see Frankfurt here. Let's just take a look at some of these costumes. It was just so creative. Here's the pictures. There we go, costumes. Talk about bedazzled. No, go away, not sponsored. And then we got, here's some good pics. So yeah, you can see what I mean by the different costumes. Here's a good one. These are the guests. What else we got here? We saw those ones already. Here's another good one. Great costumes. All right, let's go back to the poster. Here we go. And this is going to be mostly spoiler free, by the way. I'm not going to talk too much about the plot itself, just talking more about the music and how it was made and some of the stories that some of the actors have told and stuff like that. Tim Curry plays Dr. Frankenfurter, and the first line that he filmed was that, "How do you do, I? See, you've met my faithful handyman." And that line, of course, became legendary. I thought Dr. Frank breaks the fourth wall, too. Every once in a while, you notice he's not talking to Janet or Brad. He's talking to us, the audience. Like when he talks about when they get a flat, he looks over at the camera. He's like, "How about that?" This movie's so quotable. I did mention some of the cast. Richard O'Brien actually plays Riff Raff. And then I love his voice. He has an incredible range, too. And I like the way he talks, too. "The master will see you now." But yeah, he's such a good singer, too. I was surprised when I found out he was the one that wrote all the songs. Hold on, I'll bring him up. For those not familiar with the characters, I gotta look at it from that viewpoint, too. There's Eddie. We'll get to him. Meatloaf is another incredible singer, by the way. Oh, I should push that button. Okay, well, let's try that again. Photos. Here we go. I just want riffraff. Richard O'Brien. Here we go. Don't for him. Riffraff was always one of my favorite characters. Before I even knew like who he was. Where's a good picture? There we go. Maybe I could do better. Hold on. Let's have a look. Go away. Not sponsored. There's not one of just him, really? Oh, that's a good one. There's Riffraff. He's the one that answers the door. Where Brad and Janet get stuck in the rain. But yeah, he's such a good singer. His range is incredible. Especially in that Time Warp song. That's when you can really hear his voice. He sings the first song too, and I'll get to that too. I'll talk about a few of the songs. But yeah, that's one on the show. That's who he is. And then Patricia Quinn plays Magenta. She's got another beautiful voice too. It's more of a baritone almost. She's like the maid. She's got a very low, like guttural voice. And it's a good like counterpoint to Columbia. So here's Magenta. I love that line when she's on the banister. You're lucky, he's lucky, we're all lucky. And then where's Columbia? There's Columbia. Right here. Played by Nell Campbell. Oh, that's a better picture of Columbia. Here we go. So bedazzled. Love the outfit. She is more of a soprano. She's got a very high-pitched voice. So the three of them, to put their voices together, they complement each other very well. Very good at harmonizing with each other, that's for sure. And then, of course, you got Meatloaf, the legendary singer himself. At the time, it was probably shocking, too, for a lot of people to see him in something like this. Because it's so, like, the opposite of what they're used to seeing him in. But it's a small role, but Meatloaf is great in this movie. I think he's highly underrated. Let's see. Oh, they didn't put it as Meatloaf. Okay. So there he is again. It's a black and white photo, but that's okay. And just because you see still frames in black and white does not mean that there's a black and white version of this movie. As far as I know, there's no black and white version of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And then the last person I just want to mention real quick is Charles Gray, is the criminologist. He's the one narrating the story. He keeps it all together. He's really funny. So where's this picture? Oh, Milos right there. I didn't even see that. Maybe there's a color picture. Oh, there we go. Better. That's a much better picture. Him playing the saxophone. Awesome. All right, back to Charles Gray. Oh, they don't have him here. Oh, more people. There he is, Charles Gray. That's a good picture of him. He's also in the Time Warp song. I think that's the only song that he's in. But yeah, let's talk about some of these songs, shall we? Because really, that's what the Rocky Horror Picture Show is most known for. What an incredible soundtrack. I listen to this all year round, not just Halloween time. The kind of music you can just put on when you're doing pretty much anything. Whether or not you're on a drive or you're just doing like yard work, just cleaning up the house. A lot of it's full of very feel-good music, and that's intentional. But before we go on, let me just make sure I'm still with you guys, still streaming. All right, cool. Let's take a look at the comment section. Okay, no comments yet. No problem. Let's just move on. So the movie opens up with the song Science Fiction. For the opening credits, Patricia Quinn's lips are featured lip syncing the words, while Richard O'Brien is singing the song. And the song is a loving tribute to both science fiction and horror movies. Some of the ones they mention are It Comes from Outer Space, Flash Gordon, The Invisible Man, King Kong, and Tarantula. And throughout the song, it makes the different references and it relates to really what it feels like to go to the movies and have that collective experience with people in the theaters. This probably is it's up there with one of the best ones, I think, in my opinion. It's not my favorite song, but it's pretty good. The next song is Damn It, Janet. This is the song about the couple's love for each other. It kind of talks about how they met, and it kind of concludes with Brad's proposal. You can see the tension between desire and politeness. This whole scene is sort of a transition from their conservative normalcy to liberated chaos when they go to the castle later on. And that kind of what the rest of the movie embodies too. The whole movie is kind of about liberated chaos. But I'll get to that more later on. Because later in the film, Brad and Janet's world completely unravels. Their ideas about love, sex, and identity are turned upside down. So, in a way, Damn It, Janet kind of becomes a symbol of their naive beginning together. Before all the exposure to the universe of freedom and transition and sexual expression. I love the little details in this scene too. Like how Brad draws a heart on the door in chalk. And then the couple there, the farmer couple, they clean it up real quick. And that's actually an homage to a painting. Oh, hold on. I forgot to write that down in my notes. Hold on. Grant Wood's American Gothic. Sorry, I meant to write that down before, but that wasn't in my notes. But if you look real closely, you can see Richard O'Brien and Patricia Quinn are actually the farmers couple. Maybe they'll have that here. Go away, not sponsored. Maybe this will be in one of these pictures. Let's go here. And then scroll. Go away, not sponsored. Go away. There we go. Go back to Richard O'Brien. Where'd you go? There. And then Richard O'Brien 2. Yeah. Maybe they'll have that picture here. Maybe they'll make my life easy. Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Yeah, so there's Richard O'Brien. There's Patricia Quinn. And I think that is Nell Campbell. Or it could be switched. But yeah, they're the farmers couple in the beginning. And then Tim Curry's there too. He's like the pastor. They don't speak though. Oops, wrong button. That's something you don't notice is that you've seen the movie a few times. All right, let's go back to the poster. And let's just make sure I'm still streaming. Yeah, still good. Awesome. One thing I don't get though, so Brad just carries chalk around in his pocket all the time? How often is he drawing on stuff with chalk? So the next song I want to talk about is There's a Light over at the Frankenstein place. Excuse me, I'm just getting a drink. This is one sung on a dark and stormy night. Brand and Janet see a light at Frankenfurter's castle and they start headed toward it for shelter because their car gets a flat tire. It's literally a beacon of hope in the darkness of the storm. But symbolically, it represents temptation, sexual awakening, and the threshold between their safe, innocent world and the strange, liberating one ahead. It's that moment they cross from normalcy and take that transformation into the taboo, mixing optimism with eerie and foreboding atmosphere. It's a perfect setup for what's to come as far as wildness goes. I like that part that Riff Raff sings especially too. Because she's in the window. And he's looking out and he sees them coming down the road. Here we go. Sorry, I couldn't find the lyrics. It wasn't in my notes like I thought. He says, darkness must go, down the river of night's dreaming, flow Morpheus slow, let the sun and light come streaming into my life, into my life. Now, morphia is an old-fashioned term for morphine. So him saying flow, morphia, slow is saying let the drugs just go through my system is the way that I interpret that. And let the sun and light come streaming into my life. I think that's a metaphor for being high, being under the influence of drugs. But it has a double meaning too, because it also fits with the song and what Brad and Janet are talking about. He's saying the darkness must go. He's got to find his own light, but a different kind of light. You know what I mean? So we comment below if you agree with that. That might be a hot take. I don't know. The next song I want to talk about is Time Warp. This is probably the most famous song of the musical. Including the steps of the dance in the lyrics is brilliant. But it's more than just a dance. This is all about the gateway to getaway. Because in a way, doing the time warp means leaving the ordinary life you know behind you to enter this world of freedom, desire, and the taboo. And in the lyrics, they describe what it's like before they went through this time warp and then after. So each character talks about like what they were doing beforehand, and then they kind of talk about how they ended up at the castle. Riff Raff starts it off, and then Magenta goes, and then Columbia's in there. Something I've always wondered, though. So if they're doing the time warp again, when did the very first time warp start? And if that was the original time warp, and they keep continuing to do the time warp again and again, does the time warp ever stop? Think about it. Yeah, I love this song. It's not only catchy, but it's got fun music to it. It's got the instrumentation of like the saxophone, and I think its trumpets are in there too. Well, it's a very funky tune, if you ask me. It's also very cleverly written too, if you think about the lyrics. So here's the dance steps. It's just a jump to the left and then a step to the right. Put your hands on your hips and bring your knees in tight. But it's the pelvic thrust that really drives you insane. Let's do the time warp again. Now here's what some of the other characters say. Riff Raff goes, I remember. So sorry. Riff Raff starts it off saying, it's astounding. Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll. But listen closely. Magenta goes, not for very much longer. And then Riff Raff goes, I've got to keep control. He says he remembers doing the time warp. The blackness would just hit him. But really, it's the second verse that really struck me. He goes, I remember doing the time warp, drinking those moments when the blackness would hit me and the Lord would be calling. Sorry, not the second verse, the second part of his verse. Haha. Then Magenta says, it's so dreamy, oh fantasy free me, so you can't see me, no, not at all. Another dimension with voyeuristic intention, well secluded, I see all. I just love the writing. It's so poetic. And then the rhyme schemes too. It starts with dreamy, free me, themey. And then it goes dimension, intention, and then it goes back to the ICO, which goes back to not at all. Very clever the way it's written. Then Columbia, she says, well, I was walking down the street just having a think when a snake of a guy gave me try that again. When a snake of a guy gave me an evil wink, he shook me up, he took me by surprise. He had a pickup truck and the devil's eyes. He stared at me and I felt the change. Time meant nothing, never would again. So that there. Again, very clever rhyme schemes here. That whole time meant nothing, never would again. They each have this thing about how time used to mean something, and then it didn't mean anything. And now here they are. So that should paint a better picture of kind of what I was talking about. I just wanted to include some examples. That's the time warp. The next song is Sweet Transvestite. Another very famous song. Like I said, this was the first scene that Tim Curry filmed. The corset wouldn't fit, so he had to wear it backwards. The song describes who Dr. Frank is and his hobbies. It's the grand entrance that's part glam rock anthem and part character reveal. On the surface, it's a flashy, seductive number where Dr. Frank proudly declares himself a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania, which, of course, is the galaxy and the planet that he's from in the movie. Symbolically, it's about sexual liberation, self-expression, and defying conventional norms. This point of view shatters Brad and Janet's conservative worldview, introducing them, and to an extent the audience, to a world where gender, sexuality, and identity are fluid and celebrated. The film's manifesto of freedom of transformation is a bold declaration that being different isn't shameful, it's fabulous. It's telling you be comfortable in your own skin, and I love that message. He even says in the song, don't get strung out by the way I look. Don't judge a book by its cover. So that right there says a lot. I just wanted that to sink in for a moment. It's true, you can't just look at somebody and just kind of judge who they are. He even goes on after that and says, I'm not much of a man by the light of day, but by night I'm one hell of a lover. So not only is that funny, but there's a lot of meaning behind that line too. Because you never know what people are like when they're not in public, when they're by themselves at home. You never really know what a person's doing or who they are when they're by themselves. And again, the rhyme schemes in this. I love the different rhymes in this. He goes, or if you want to do something visual that's not too abysmal. Normally, you wouldn't put those two words together, but the way that they're written and the way that they're spoken, it works. Very clever. My favorite line in the whole song is at the end, though. But maybe the rain really isn't to blame, so I'll remove the cause, but not the symptom. That speaks volumes. Because it's kind of like, what's worse, the cure or the symptoms? So he's willing to help you and show you this whole liberation of yourself and really self-expression. But I think what he's saying here is what's worse, being trapped in your little boxes or that fear of being released. Just think about that. In a lot of ways, this could refer to being closeted. That's what I was kind of talking about too, about being comfortable in your own skin, because that's so important. So yeah, those are just a few of my thoughts on Sweet Transvestite. I just want to check to make sure that we're still streaming. All right, still looks good. All right, take a look at the comment section. No comments yet. That's okay. Moving on. The show must go on. Here's that fabulous poster. The next song I want to talk about is The Sword of Damocles. This is when Rocky sings about how he's confused about his existence and how he thinks he's perpetually doomed. The Sword of Damocles is a metaphor from Greek legend. It's a sword hanging by a thread over someone's head, symbolizing constant danger that comes with both power and privilege. Rocky realizes his life and freedom are fragile. He's Frank's creation and a plaything, but he's not truly safe or free. So the song turns a mythic image into a campy rock song about vulnerability, control, and the fear of being destroyed right after being created. I love the Frankenstein references here too, especially the way that the laboratory is set up and the way he brings Rocky to life and the whole making a man thing. Great. And even the name, Dr. Frankenfurter. So many references to Frankenstein. Aside from there's a light at the Frankenstein place too. But even in this song, he goes, the sword of Damocles is hanging over my head, and I've got to keep feeling someone's got to be cutting, and I've got a feeling someone's going to be cutting the thread. I can read. That's how the song starts off. That right there says it all. And then at the end of that verse, he goes, I woke up this morning with a start when I fell out of bed. That's kind of like getting up on the wrong side of the bed. You're just not starting your day off in a good way. So at this point, Rocky Horror is probably very confused. I mean, think about what it's like to be the Rocky Horror character. One day you just wake up in a lab and you find out what your purpose is. And you have this looming dread that it could be over any moment. I just want to take note too that the actor that plays Rocky Horror, his name is Peter Hinwood, but the singing voice is done by Trevor White. So it's a different guy singing the songs. And his voice is also incredible. He's got that classic rock voice. As of the way he says certain things, like creature of the night. But that's another song. His introduction is still pretty amazing. The whole song, oh, woe is me, my life is misery, and you can't see that I'm at the start of a pretty big downer. So yeah, he's worried about his fate. The next song is I Can Make You a Man. It's just how Frankenfurter is going to shape him up and get him in shape so we can do dirty things to him. I don't really have a whole lot to say about that song. It's funny. It really says a lot about like body standards or body issues, you could say. Talks about like exercise. Talks about diets and like what people should eat so that they can stay in shape. But obviously, diets don't work the same for everybody. So it's a song that's all about like image too. You could say that's another way you could interpret that one. So the next song I want to talk about is Hot Patootie, Meatloaf song. Kind of wish Meatloaf would have a bigger role, but within the context of the story, he doesn't really have that big a part, anyways. The lyrics combine flirtation, exuberance, and nostalgia for the greaser rock era. It's like the 50s rock. It's all about 50s bikers. The song emphasizes Eddie's carefree, rebellious personality. It also serves as a fun, campy tribute to that 50s rock culture. It also shows off Eddie's charming, wild energy. He sings the song just after he breaks out of the basement downstairs because he got a lobotomy and half of his brain was put in Rocky's head. And the Hot Patootie that he's referring to, I think he's talking about Colombia. He goes, Hot Patootie, bless my soul. I really love that rock and roll. That's the chorus. So the first verse, he kind of talks about, well, he says, when you dressed up sharp and you felt all right, it didn't seem the same since Cosmic Light came into my life and I thought I was divine. I used to go for a ride with a chick who'd go and listen to the music on the radio. That's how it starts off. So it's all about going to the concerts, getting ready for that Saturday night show, having a good time with your partner. The second verse, he goes on to say, my head used to swim from the perfume I smelled. My hands kind of fumbled and with her white plastic belt. I'd taste her baby pink lipstick, and that's when I'd melt. She'd whisper in my ear tonight she was really mine. That right there, they're talking about sex. Drug, sex, and rock and roll. So yeah, like I was saying, I think this describes what his relationship was like with Columbia before they both ended up in the castle. But this song interjects the I Can Make You a Man song. So after that song, they do the reprise for it. It's actually pretty funny. Then, of course, this is where, okay, minor spoiler, this is where Eddie gets killed. So I'll make sure we're still streaming. Yeah, awesome. I like the way that scene is filmed too. It's pretty creepy. You got the fog going from the freezer, and then Dr. Frank lures Eddie in, and then he gets him with a pickaxe. That's got some pretty good gore effects there too. So the next song I want to talk about is Touch 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 Me. This is easily the most evocative, on the nose sex song ever written. Janet sings about her discovering her sexual inhibitions. The song is playful, flirtatious, and full of sexual innuendo. It shows her transition from shy innocence to boldness, reflecting the musical's themes of sexual liberation and self-discovery. This again goes back to the feeling comfortable in your own skin motif. It's my second favorite song in the musical. This sexual awakening shows her shift from innocence to curiosity to practical application. It's so funny too, some of the wordplay they use. Like this. I thought there was no use getting into heavy petting. It just leads to trouble. We know what that means. Something like that's pretty self-explanatory. Then she says, I'll put up no resistance. I want to stay the distance. I've got an itch to scratch. I need assistance. Doesn't get much more clear than that. Then she goes, if anything grows while you pose, I'll oil you up and rub you down. Even the chorus. Oh, touch me. I want to be dirty. Throw me, chill me, fulfill me. Creature of the night. Creature of the night. Creature of the night. I like how they all say it in the different tones. They've all got their own little cadence. How they say it. It's awesome. Yeah, this song is hilarious. And the performances during this number too are amazing. The comedic timing is on point. I don't know how long it took for them to shoot this scene, but it must have took a while for them to keep a straight face and say these lines. Especially since Susan Sarandon, she wasn't in the original Broadway production, or sorry, the West End production. She wasn't in the stage musical. they wanted to get Americans for the movie so they can kind of get a more general, well, a broader audience appeal. I think she does fine in the role. She's got a nice voice, more on the soprano side. The next song is my favorite song, Eddie. It's a short, playful number highlighting Eddie's mischievous, flirtatious personality as a 50s greaser. It talks about his life and how his mother's death affected him. It also begs the question of nature versus nurture. Are people born evil, or do they turn evil over time? And the teddy bear, I think, is symbolism for fun or freedom, or it could even represent childhood innocence. Some of the things that Dr. Scott talks about, because Dr. Scott is Eddie's uncle. It goes, he left home he left home the day she died. From the day she was gone, all he wanted, he left home the day she died. And from the day she was gone, all he wanted was rock and roll, porn, and a motorbike, shooting up junk. So that's about his descent into drug, sex, and rock and roll. And how his mom's death really was his turning point and his downfall. And again, the wordplay, I love the way that the songs are written. When Eddie said he didn't like his Teddy, you knew he was a no good kid. Such a rhyme scheme. This is so fun to say. That's the thing about these songs. Not only are they like fun, like orchestrated wise, like musically, like the instrumentations are fun, but the wordplay and the lyrics, the more you think about it, the more they make sense. And the more you see they have these layers with multiple meanings. And then there's just things that are just fun to say. The wordplay. I can't get enough of the wordplay. And Columbia's got this part too. She says, everybody shoved him. I very nearly loved him. I said, hey, listen to me. Stay sane. Stay inside insanity. Just think about those words for a moment. That's so profound. Whoa. So the next song that I want to talk about is Rose Tint My World. Actually, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. When they reveal Eddie's corpse, when they pull the tablecloth away from the table, the cast's horror was genuine because only Curry, O'Brien, and Meatloaf knew about that scene beforehand and what they were going to do with it. They didn't tell the cast that the mannequin there was with the body was there. So I just thought that was hilarious. But yeah, like I was saying, Rose Tint My World. This song is all about embracing who you are. The whole idea is about how Dr. Frank is control. Sorry, I can read my own sentence. The whole idea of how Dr. Frank is controlling them while the song's going on is just creepy. I just wrote that weird the first time. It's a playful, flirtatious song where all the characters express their deepest, darkest desires, creating a fun, romanticized, quote unquote, rose colored fantasy world that's part escapism, part seduction, and all Rocky Horror Picture Show theatrics. This is like the epitome of what Rocky Horror represents. And I love how the lighting is used here. It's cheesy, but it's so effective. The red lighting. And then they have the different spotlights on the different people when they're doing their different parts. It's funny how the statues are naked, too. That's something I didn't notice the first few times I watched it. But yeah, some of the things that they describe. Well, Columbia starts it off, and she talks about how she was a fan of Frankenfurter, but then things changed over time. And then each of them, they say this line that says, "Rose tip my world, keeps me safe from my trouble and pain." Sorry, I wanted to read that correctly. Rose tint my world, keeps me safe from my trouble and pain. That speaks volume. That is so profound. Because who hasn't done that? Try to shelter themselves from the pain they felt from the world. Rocky Horror kind of talks about how he was kind of born yesterday and his libido is through the roof. And that he's not really sure who to trust. Then Brad comes on. And then Janet comes on. And they both talk about how they feel released, but they're both kind of afraid of what's going on. Sorry, my cat is attached to my hand. Okay. Oh. She was clawing at me. But yeah, it's all about a person's deepest, darkest desires. This leads into the song Fanfare and Don't Dream It. Another great song. This is my favorite lyric of the whole film. Don't dream it, be it. It plays on the optimistic futurism, early science fiction, celebrating transformation, transgression, and creation in a scientific sense, not so much religious. More like how Frankenstein creates his creature. Which, of course, was the inspiration for Frankenfurter creating Rocky. Yeah. Nice. But yeah, here's what. Sorry, I got distracted by my cat there. I don't know if you can see her on camera here. Hold on, see her? She's trying to climb up my lap. No, you can't even see her on camera. That's fine. Moving on. Wait, share screen. Yeah, share the screen. Okay, cool. Awesome. But for me, Don't Dream It, Be It really goes along of if you have something that you aspire for, you should go for it. There's a big difference between planning for something and actually achieving your goals. So it's more to it than just being comfortable in your own skin, being closeted. It's also about aspirations too. So if you want to write movies, for example, you got to write your script, you got to do it. Or if you want to be a dancer, you got to practice dancing, you got to get better at it. Or if you want to be an artist, you got to be able to draw, that kind of thing. It's all about that perseverance to achieve what you want to do in life. I also want to talk about Janet Planet Schmanet, or whatever it's called. Yeah, Planet Schmanet Janet, because this song's hilarious. He goes, you better wise up, Janet Weiss. Your apple pie don't taste so nice. You better wise up, Janet Weiss. I've laid my seed. It should be all you need. You're a and a pencil. Wound up like an E on first string. When we made it, did you hear the bell ring? So yeah, it's all about how she wasn't very good in bed the first time when they were together because they hook up early on. So it's very much insulting to her. Then other people they chime in. This is before they get frozen as statues. So the guys try to help her out, but they end up getting frozen too. Even Columbia, because she's getting tired of how Dr. Frank just uses people. But yeah, it's hilarious if you think about the lyrics. The wordplay is so good. Then there's the song "I'm Going Home." This is Dr. Frank's reflection, a softer, gentler side of him, about how he talks about leaving the castle and seeking that comfort of being back where he belongs. After all that's said and done, after his mission, he just wants to go back home. That says a lot too, because a lot of people, who doesn't feel like that at the end of a long, hard day? You just want to kick your feet up and go home. And I love the reference to King Kong. Where Frankie Furter gets attacked by Riff Raff. Again, this is the cheesy red lightning. I like how it was hand drawn too. The hand drawn animation's a nice touch. The last one is superheroes. It's the epilogue, and it celebrates and kind of mocks the larger than life flamboyant characters of the story. It frames their outrageous antics as heroic in a fun, ironic way, even though what they're doing could be considered evil. So, one thing that I've noticed, the more times that I see this movie, there's actually a lot of parallels between the Rocky Horror Picture Show and The Wizard of Oz. So my kind of joke to myself is I call the Rocky Horror Picture Show The Wizard of Oz After Dark. Like some of the narrative themes they share, They both use fantasy journeys to explore identity, transformation, and rebellion against conformity. They both begin in this gray world and then shift into this vivid fantasy realm, representing liberation and self discovery. They both have a storm that acts as a gateway to the supernatural world. Both of these worlds have this ruler who controls them through spectacle and illusion, that being the wizard and Frankenfurter, of course. Both protagonists encounter eccentric companions who reflect fragmented aspects of themselves. Dorothy meets the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion, searching for intellect, emotion, and courage. Brad and Janet meet Riff Raff, Magenta, Columbia, and Rocky, embodying sexuality, rebellion, and transformation. Each film explores the allure of danger and escapism, and both journeys challenge mortality, sexuality, and identity. The Wizard of Oz ends with Dorothy rejecting the fantasy to return home, where the Rocky Horror Picture Show embraces the fantasy and transformation through the chaos and destruction. It suggests that true change is internal. Once transformed, you can never return to being unchanged. You can't go back to where you started or where you were before. Then there's the lines, "There's no place like home, and don't dream it, be it." They express the same idea of self-acceptance. Both films celebrate liberation from conformity and invite audiences to find authenticity through fantasy, ironically. Each is a self-aware film that blurs the lines between illusion and reality. The Wizard of Oz could also be seen as a queer allegory, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show transforms subtext into explicit, unapologetic self-expression. There's no subtext here. Both films utilize fantasy to reveal truth, inviting us to embrace who we are, regardless of how unusual, taboo, or unconventional. Like I keep saying, it's all about being comfortable in your own skin. So initially, this didn't do very well in theaters, but once it got introduced to the midnight screenings in New York City in 1979, it sparked interactive audience participation, like talking back to the screen, having props and throwing them at the screen, and showing up in costume. It's now the longest running theatrical release in cinema today. It's created a safe place for the LGBTQ community, celebrating sexual freedom, gender fluidity, and self-expression. And these screenings continue to thrive, mainly because the fan gatherings are just so full of community. I haven't been to one myself, but I heard they were a lot of fun. I keep hearing stories from people who have been to these midnight screenings and all the fun they have there. So it's on my bucket list for sure. Fun fact, too, the castle that they used for the filming is called Oakley Court. It's also appeared in several Hammer horror films from the 50s and 60s. And even the phrase, "don't dream it, be it," became a rallying cry for self-expression and LGBTQ pride. In 2016, they did a remake. They did like a live, like Broadway production of it, and they filmed it on, and they put it on TV. I think it was aired live. Don't quote me on that though. It starred Laverne Cox as Frankenfurter, but I didn't really like this version. It pales in comparison to the original. So let's go back to me. And get rid of this. Here's Ursula. Hey, sweetie. My little co-host. So, overall, this film isn't a cult classic. This is the cult classic. Other cult classics could only hope to achieve the cult level status this film has. Oh, hello. This film has everything. There's horror, sci-fi, comedy, mystery, murder, sex, and catchy rock songs to boot. So this movie holds a lot of weight for a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons. Maybe you grew up in the 70s and 80s and you went to the old screenings. Maybe you're a little bit younger, like in your 20s or so, and you first got introduced to Rocky Horror. But where were you the first time that you got introduced to the Rocky Horror Picture Show? I remember the first time I watched it. I was probably like 13 or so, but I was still closeted. So the first time I watched it, I didn't know what to think of it. It just kind of confused me. But over time, it's grown deeper meanings, and I've come to appreciate it too. Not just the music, but the symbolism, everything that it represents. If you like science fiction, it's got something for you. If you love musicals, it's got something for you. And if you love horror movies, it's certainly got something for you too. There's so many different references to like Frankenstein. There's Dracula. There's reference to the mummy in there. When Rocky first wakes up, he's all covered up in bandages. And I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard that the tank being rainbow colored actually inspired the pride flag. But I couldn't confirm that online or not. But yeah, I love the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's one of those movies that's an annual Halloween watch for me. Actually, I watch it all throughout the year. I'm not going to lie. I listen to the soundtrack a lot too. It's just so catchy. It's one of those things that every time you watch the movie, you notice something else about it that you didn't notice before. Every time you listen to the words of the songs, you notice different things that you might not have picked up on before. That just shows how much creativity gets put into something like this. Sorry, my straps are driving me nuts. Keeps twisted on me. But yeah. And then there's the whole LGBTQ thing. So this movie really did help me think about what it means to be comfortable in your own skin too. And I give it a lot of credit for helping me be comfortable in my own skin. So at the end of the day, that's what makes it so inspiring for me. So my official grade for the Rocky Horror Picture Show is an extra large popcorn. And remember, don't dream it, be it.
So, until next time,
I'll see you at the movies.
have a great day.
Did you know that I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com? You can read my reviews on their website,
And I make frequent appearances on their YouTube channel, Horror Buzz Live. So I'll leave links below for that too.
So this concludes this week's episode. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. I released a bunch of different horror movie reviews in October, so feel free to check out my channel for that. I'll see you next week at the same time. Happy Halloween! Goodbye. See you next week. Say goodbye, Ursula. Goodbye.